Hey everyone, so Nigeria has experienced an economic miracle. Its unemployment rate has dropped drastically from almost 20 something percent or even 30 something percent to about 4%, which is equivalent to what you see in Western countries like the United States and United Kingdom. Is this really an economic miracle? Some newspapers are saying that the National Bureau of Statistics for Nigeria has been fudging the numbers. I'm going to give you a deep dive of what actually is going on with those numbers. So first, one of the things that we need to kind of discuss is that defining unemployment is quite a difficult task, or even defining employment. Who you classify as employed is not just simply about who's working. It also sometimes you have to consider how many hours those people work and the quality of the jobs that those people have. And within the economic space, many people have in the beginning tend to shy away from using subjective measures like looking at job quality to sort of give an approximate measure of unemployment or employment as well. So it's been a trend that really people know that this is a gap in the way we measure employment and unemployment. Is we need to be able to measure the quality of jobs, and there's been a lot of work that has been done in that field. But in terms of measuring unemployment generally as countries, we tend to try and measure it objectively. And one of those key things that people consider is how many hours people work as part of that measure of employment, and also considering which sectors they include. Like, do we include people who are in internships? Do we include people who are volunteering? Do we include people who are on leave? Do we include people who are doing other types of work that might not be seen as mainstream type of work? So what the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics have done is really just take the methodology that's used by most Western countries. So we're talking about the US, United Kingdom, Australia, and other European countries, and use the definition that anyone who has been working for at least 1 hour in the past week, or was part of, was maybe even though they were on leave, but were attached to some sort of employment, are considered to be employed. Whereas previously, the way the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics did it was that those people who were working up to 1 to 19 hours per week were considered unemployed, and they did not include people who were working in the ag sector, I believe, and they had some other different ways of measuring who is employed and unemployed as well. But those were the sort of key things that made the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics data quite different from what you saw in international statistics done by the United States and UK and the like. And that previous methodology would seem justified if you think about it, in the sense that there's a lot of poverty that is occurring in the nation. And someone working 1 to 19 hours a week in Nigeria is not by choice. It's more likely that they're just having to hustle and do what they can with those 1 to 19 hours. And whereas if you are looking at somewhere like the UK or United States or even Australia, most likely those people are doing part-time work by choice, and they have opportunities for full-time employment if they want to. Whereas in Nigeria, it's not the same, and also the quality of jobs that people are doing is very different. So it's very interesting that the National Bureau of Statistics of Nigeria has changed the way they've done the methodology. So I'm just going to switch and kind of show you guys the difference in the methodology. So as I explained before, previously Nigeria's Bureau of Statistics would include those who work 1 to 19 hours plus those who are looking for a job as unemployed, and everyone else who was working more than 19 hours as employed. Whereas now what they're doing is, and also they only included those who were 15 to 64 as the working age population when they were doing that calculation. But now what they're doing is, the key things that they're doing is that those who are not employed but searching for work and available to work are the ones who are considered unemployed, whereas those who are working 1 to 19 hours are now considered employed. And also those who are temporarily absent from work, so people who have gone on leave but have a job that they can come back to. So those are the key differences, and those differences have made a significant shift in the numbers. And in their press statement, the Bureau of Statistics said those numbers are not comparable to what was before. So one of the criticisms that they have about these statistics, that people have about this statistic, about the new methodology, is that it gives the impression to the government that they're doing quite well on creating jobs for people, which is quite because people use unemployment rate as their key anchor indicator for what to do when it comes to job creation, I think that point is quite justified because most people do not focus on other measures of employment when they're doing, particularly politicians don't focus on that when they're trying to sell the story that they've done well in terms of building a country or making it better. Even though the Bureau of Statistics of Nigeria has got other measures such as unemployment, so people wanting to work more but they cannot find opportunities to work more, that's captured in the data, but will that be actually reported by politicians when they come to the next election cycle? That's something that is of key concern. Will that indicator be actually taken into account when people look at what to do in terms of policy decisions that they need to make? Because a 4% unemployment rate is quite low for a 200 million population strong country. Even 4% of 200 million is quite a lot in terms of the number, but just the fact that you're not having to deal with 30% unemployment in your problem is 4% can change the psychology of and the conversation of what can be happening in that economic space. So I think in terms of that psychology of how politicians might think about it, how other people might think about unemployment in the country, I think that concern is quite justified. So it'll be interesting to see how the Bureau of Statistics kind of holds these things in tension and tries to resolve this and make sure that government has got the right information to make the right policy choices. So what, in summary, really, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics have done something that just makes them come in line with international standards, and those standards have been around for quite a while. And really, they haven't really fudged the numbers, but they've just shifted the numbers. So, but the key concern, as I said, is whether policymakers will actually be aware of that shift or just say, oh, unemployment has gone down and we've done a great job because the president that's currently there has done a great job, and they really miss the bigger picture of what's happening in the country in terms of quality of jobs and people wanting to work more but they can't, and the like. So if you guys enjoyed this video, this is Coffee Economics. My name is Abe. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below to get more of this content. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.